Paradox of Sports, episode 11. We're just rolling along. Still kind of waiting to hear on if and when some of the sports are going to return. It doesn't sound like pro baseball's coming back, but Jack, we're hearing some whispers that you might be getting back on the baseball field, so update us on that.
Yes, I am. We were supposed to start back up in mid-July, but because our team did not sign some paperwork or something, we would have been playing in a 6-game season for Renton, and we may even be playing in a Colorado Springs league. We are just super unsure.
So it's up in the air, but we're starting to hear you might be able to get back and get to doing some baseball a little bit. So that'll be good to do, get back and get to doing a little bit of fun. What have we missed here the last week? Anything major in the wrestling world?
Wrestling world-wise, nothing really. Backlash aired, and it wasn't really my favorite pay-per-view. It didn't have any special matches. The greatest match ever was blow off. So basically, it wasn't the best.
So when you lead into something like that they're going to try to sell as the greatest match ever, we're expecting that not to suck, right?
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's disappointing, man. How often? Go ahead.
The only thing I did like about it, though, was that they used so many moves that, they used The Rock's rock bottom. Edge did. Randy Orton, he did some moves. Edge's Christian's kill switch, stuff like that.
So today we're going to talk to the athletic director there at CSU-Pueblo. Yes. There has been a lot change from when your dad and I were going through college there compared to now. So of your experiences on campus there between, I know you go to the football games and the basketball and some of the wrestling and the baseball, all the stuff there. What is your favorite event to take in when you go there to the college?
It would either be football or basketball, because in football, the tailgating, being with friends and family, it's just there. And then when you go to the games, it's so entertaining, especially at the CSU-Pueblo campus.
So it's one of those things, just in it probably helps that the team is good too. That probably makes it a little more fun to go watch a top-notch competitive team.
Yeah. And then in basketball, my dad is a CSU-Pueblo alumnus, so we get a little suite area that we sit in.
Sometimes very nice.
Sometimes we sit in the in one of the suites above the I don't know really how to explain it.
I think I've seen it. You're talking the one that's up above, up behind the basket, up top there.
Yeah.
At one of the ends of the court. So you're looking down at one end over the basket, and then the basket's at the other end.
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
There's also the Hall of Famer suite, where it's a room showing all of the Hall of Famers there. And because my dad's a CSU-Pueblo alumnus, we get access to that area.
Nice. So that's cool. Well, it's come a long ways. So they've definitely done a good job from the old days when it was Masari and then that old stinky hot wrestling room they had. And I know they've made a lot of upgrades, and we're going to speak to a guy that's been in there the last couple of years. It kind of took over for Coach Folda when he got out of the AD role. So if you want, go ahead and let's introduce our guest.
Okay. Introducing the CSU-Pueblo Director of the Athletic Department, Paul Plinske.
I'm excited to be here and looking forward to sharing a little bit more about PAC athletics and what's going on at CSU-Pueblo amidst, I guess you could call it summer. It's already summer, so here we go.
Awesome. Well, as we always do, to get things started, we're going to throw it to our boy Jack.
When the athletic director job came open here at CSU-Pueblo 2 years ago, what were your initial impressions of the athletics program before accepting the position?
Wow, Jack, that's an awesome question. So, you know, it's no hidden secret that CSU-Pueblo has a great football program. And I think the fact that we had a group of community members that got together and basically established the Nita and Eddie DeRose Thunderwolve and developed a scholarship fund to be able to support the needs of the football program under the guidance of head coach John Riston, with the support of individuals like Dan DeRose and other Friends of Football members. It became real evident pretty quickly that there was a high level of interest in sports and being successful here at CSU-Pueblo. But, you know, I honestly was only, 6-7 hours away at the University of Nebraska-Kearney. And Kearney and CSU-Pueblo competed in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference for years before University of Nebraska-Kearney decided to go to a different conference. And so there's a lot of familiarity with the overall success of the athletic department here at CSU-Pueblo. And so we saw that football was really good, but there are other sports that were kind of stagnant and had lost a little bit of their mustard. And I think that's been my primary goal, was to try to maintain or bolster the level of success of our football program, but also lift up the other 21 sports and try to get them going and build up something special. And I've realized, a real short period of time as an athletic director, that you cannot be successful without the support of a great president and university administration. And so, while the Friends of Football and the local community are great supporters of football, I knew that we needed to have somebody that was going to be able to help us be able to bring up the other 21 sports. And President Tim Motte is a great advocate for athletics, really supportive. And he was another prime reason why I wanted to come here and join him in trying to build this thing up. And so we've been working hard. We've had a lot of staff changes. We've been making facility renovations, but we're still trying to keep moving forward and give our student athletes the best experience. So I've really enjoyed my 2 years here so far.
Speaking of facility renovations, talk about some of the improvement projects that are currently scheduled for the athletic facilities.
Sure. Well, we've put together a little bit of a model that allowed us to go and talk to our president, and then our president went to the Colorado State University Board of Governors, and then we also went to our local donors and community members to help support financing all of the facility renovations that we wanted to do. And really it started with the idea, and then it started with the ask, and then it started with the development of the plans. And so I would say about a year ago, we started to secure close to $5 million. And so right now we're at that $5 million mark in renovations that we'll do for our facilities. And so the first project that started was here in Massari Arena. We put in the largest video board in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. It spans 35 feet wide, and it's a high definition board that has various layers of graphics that can be placed over the scoreboard. And it's phenomenal. Our fans just love it. We also put in a high definition multi-use sound system for the arena, and it sounds like a rock concert when you're in our basketball games. And so we're pretty excited about that. And that was put in January. Then right away, as soon as winter kind of was concluding, we started doing some work at the Thunderwolves. We renovated the entire track surface, and so we put in a whole new track. That was a $1.1 million endeavor. And so the video board, sound system, and track were both supported by the Colorado State University Board of Governors. And so they did that as part of a vision to help CSU-Pueblo grow and advance. But then we went out and we got $3 million in renovation money to be able to help do our baseball and softball complex. So both of those sports play at the Rawlings Sports Complex. That's named after Robert Hogue Rawlings, who used to own the Pueblo Chieftain newspaper. And so we went to the Rawlings Hogue Foundation right off the bat, and we got $1 million gift from them. Then Art Gonzalez gave us another $1 million, and then Dan and Carrie DeRose gave us another $1 million. So we basically were able to fund the project with 3 people. So right now we're putting in all new synthetic surface at baseball, new outfield fence, new sound system, new scoreboard. We are doing press box renovations, dugout and locker room renovations. And then at softball, we're doing a grand entrance, permanent bleachers, sound system, locker room work. But the grand finale of them all will be a new 30,000 square foot indoor hitting complex. And so we believe that this will be a venue to help us train our baseball and softball players. But then on top of that, we'll be able to bring in our other sports if they have inclement weather, or bring in community members to be able to do some training. So local youth will be invited to CSU-Pueblo to be able to train in our baseball and softball academies. And that'll be a year-round venue for us to be able to use that venue right next to our baseball complex. So the renovations are moving. We have some more we want to do in the future, but we'll have to secure funding for those. But we're changing the way we look, and it's pretty exciting times for us right now.
When you're bringing in like the video board and stuff there at Masari, is that stuff you're able to work with some of the other departments within the college for? Is that students that are staffing some of that and running it during the game, or do you guys have volunteers to do it, or what? Because when you start bringing in that much kind of flair, that's more hands on deck. You need to kind of improve the product for the fans.
Absolutely. At the Nita and Eddie DeRose Thunder Bowl, we have a tremendous video board there. And actually we call it the Thundertron. It takes 13 people to run that thing. And so when we have all 13 at a football game, we're pretty well staffed. So up in the arena, when we run a high production video with live streaming and replays, that production will take anywhere from 6 to 8 people. And so we'll bring in students from campus. We'll cross network with faculty and staff here at CSU-Pueblo. And then we also work with Pueblo Community College. They bring over some individuals to do production for us. And so it's a really cool opportunity for us to really build our brand and put a special product out there for our fans to be a part of, and be able to get a really neat experience.
I did 20 years ago, I worked with Scott Richards. So I did some stuff with him and Jim Brooks back when I had first got out of high school, and I have kept up with some of Scott's work a little bit over the years, but he's very passionate and strict about how he likes to have his stuff done. So if you can have him involved in stuff, I think that's a good deal.
Scott's awesome. Yeah, we work with Scott each year for football. He's going to help us with some basketball and volleyball videoing, but he also helps with commencement. So we host our commencement on campus now and have close to 4,500 people in attendance, and it's a full videoed with live and replays during commencement, and it's a neat experience. But Scott is spearheading all of that for us, and you're definitely in good hands with him. He's a great partner, and we love working with him.
So since you have arrived, talk about some of the achievements that the Thunderwolves athletic programs and the student athletes have achieved.
Well, it's been a 2-year stint for me, and I believe that we're building for something special in the long haul. But, there's a couple highlights that are pretty significant for us that we're really proud of. One is, we're here to bring in student athletes. We emphasize students first and athletes second. So, our student athletes are doing exceptionally well in the classroom. The average GPA of our student athletes is 3.06. That's significantly higher than the general student body population. This last academic year, we had over half of our student athletes with above a 3.25 grade point average. And so student athletes are doing really well academically, and we're really proud of that. Second of all is our student athletes are highly engaged in the community. We give them special tasks that they have to do each year, and so they get out in the community and do community service. They're involved in Habitat for Humanity, where we have a great partnership with the local YMCA. We do a lot to engage with camps and clinics with both local youth to be able to give them a sporting opportunity. So we've invested close to 5,000 community service hours per year with our 580 student athletes. So there's a great connection there that we want to make to the city of Pueblo and be able to provide that support. And then lastly is we've had some teams do really well. Our football program has won a conference title, has made it to the NCAA tournament 2 consecutive years. We finished 11th this last year in attendance in the country. We averaged just over 6,000 people a game. Our women's golf program has been exceptionally successful. A year ago, they won the conference tournament. One of our programs that we feel has done really well, but is on a high level of trajectory, is our men's and women's track and field program. Last year, both men and women track and field finished in the top 10 in the country, and we had a national champion in several events in track, and then we had a national champion in cross country. So Marcelo Laguerre is our national champion cross country runner. Thomas Staines is our national champion 800-meter runner. We feel like Thomas at some point in time will be able to compete in the Olympics. He is a native of Great Britain, so he would be representing the United Kingdom as he competes in the Olympics that we know has been moved to 2021. So we'll see if he competes for 21 Olympics or 24 Olympics. But Thomas is a special individual and has a lot of capability. And so they're all back. They're all coming back for 2020-21. And we think that track and field will be really special as we look to the future. So it's going to be year 3. Obviously, the coronavirus pandemic has changed our lives a little bit. But we're planning on having a full academic year of sports starting in the fall with our fall sports. And so looking forward to that and building on our successes.
So a little bit on that and kind of what has happened this spring. Can you maybe go back to, I'm going to guess February and March when stuff started to come down, that they were going to be shutting stuff down? What are those first few days like? And when you're getting the emails or the phone calls that, you know, your spring sports, you're going to have to shut them down?
You know, things happened so quickly. It was literally a matter of minutes when we were sending our track and field and wrestling programs to their national championships. We were gearing up for baseball games and on campus. We were getting ready to send our softball team to an away competition, and the NBA decided to be the first one. You know, they just said, boom, we're canceling and we're done, and we don't know when we're returning. And then moments later, the NCAA started to shut down what they were doing, and it just became this surreal moment for everybody, where there was just lots of uncertainty where why is this happening now and how long is this going to happen? And so we immediately had to get our student athletes back to campus as quickly as we could. So at that point in time, then it was a conversation that we had with our conference officials and trying to determine what was going to be next. And then it was just kind of like it went from we're being active to we're literally done for the spring. So we had to notify our spring sports student athletes to turn in their gear. And that was incredibly disruptive. And, you know, some of them were on their senior years. Some of them didn't have any anticipation of returning to campus. And so, boom, out of the blue, we're telling them, you know, 1 minute you're on a bus to go compete, and the next minute your seasons are done. And then, obviously, as time went along, the NCAA went in and changed all the rules. All of our athletes got a year of eligibility back. We promised all of our 50 seniors that lost their year that we would give them a scholarship for 2021. So we think that about 75 to 80% of them are coming back for next year. But it just flipped everybody's life upside down. And really now we've just been in this Groundhog Day mode where it's like everything's the same old every day, and we're spinning our wheels hoping that something new can happen. And we're planning for the things to start to get back to normal. But the middle of March was incredibly traumatic, and it's now to a point where we've moved on, but that will live in infamy of something that will forever impact college sports and even our society as a whole.
Now, when you've seen some of the schools that have had to start eliminating some of the athletic teams and stuff, I know you were talking earlier about the donors and the good partners you guys have. I haven't seen any news on any of that affecting CSU Pueblo there. So is that because you guys have such good relationship with folks that continue to support the athletics there?
You know, it's really hit some schools hard with the reality of revenue shortfalls because they don't have students going to campus, or even in certain contexts, they don't have the any foresight of whether or not we're going to have a sports season. And so some schools have gone out already, and schools that are heavily based on revenue have already made decisions to cut sports. There's a lot of mid-major Division I schools that are dropping sports left and right. And then there are some situations where you've seen Division II and III schools that are ultimately just closing. The fortunate thing for CSU Pueblo is we're so highly connected to the Colorado State University system, and our board of governors are incredibly supportive. They give and give, and we're continually appreciative of that. We're also really appreciative of our donors and our supporters. But out of our $8 million budget, we raise about $2.8 million. And so we do that through ticket sales, corporate sponsors, donors, camps, and clinics. We've been hit hard in the mouth by the fact that we haven't had to have camps. We're hopeful that we can have camps in July and August, but we're not sure yet. We're hopeful that we'll be able to generate ticket revenue with fans coming to the games for the fall and winter and spring, but we're still not sure yet. We're confident that our donors will continue to give, but I'm really thankful for President Mote. He's worked tremendously hard to balance our budget for next year without cuts, without reductions. But what causes me great uncertainty is the fact that I don't know out of that $2.8 million how much we're going to be able to raise in this fiscal year. It all depends on the pandemic, when it's over, how much of return we're able to get, and then if we're able to jumpstart our camps again. And so while the campus is balancing in budget, athletics is still a little bit of an unknown because we don't know all those variables that are yet to be determined. Jack, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think you're muted, buddy.
Since you took over for Mr. Fulda in 2018, how has your work compared to his in your time here?
You know, Joe was a coach, and he had a great relationship with our student athletes and interacted really well with them, and really did some great things as an athletic director. You know, you look back at the history of his regime here, and he added sport programs, he built facilities, he hired coaches. I mean, he literally expanded us from a program of probably 10, 11, 12 sports all the way up to 22. He's done an incredible amount of work while he was an athletic director, but also a basketball coach. And so just a wonderful human being and incredibly supportive of me. And, so he was able to develop those things. I do think that I brought a different level of experiences and to the table. I've been an athletic director now for 16 years. And so some of the things that I've tried to emphasize on is our branding, some of our facility renovations that we have now been able to jumpstart as a result of the foundation that Joe left for us. And then obviously just working on kind of our competitiveness in the conference. I think over the years, we've kind of got a little stagnant and we haven't improved the way we'd like to. And I think, and Joe and I have talked a lot about this. We've got some programs now that are ready to take that surge and really improve. But as you know, every athletic director has their strengths and weaknesses. Every person has their strengths and weaknesses. And so I was trying to be compatible with him, but also be different than him and build off of the things that he did. And so it's been a fun journey, but I can't do it alone. I needed the support of our university administration and our donors. And quite frankly, I talk with Joe probably once every couple of weeks to give him insight on what we're doing, let him know what changes are coming, but also, get his insight on what he thinks should be done. And so he's been a great advocate, great supporter, and I call him a wonderful friend.
Got another one, Jack? You got a good one to end on?
Yes, I do. What was your greatest moment in your history of working in athletics?
That's a great question. I'm really thankful for the experience I had back in 2007 when I was a part of a program that won a national title in football. Football is a great sport. All of our 21 sports are great. I love them to death. But football is on national TV. It's in front of a big, large audience. There's a lot of work and effort that go into it. But what made it especially special for me was the fact that I hired the coach, and in his first year, he won a national title. And since then, he went on and is the head coach at University-Pueblo, a Division I school. And so while he was head coach at University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, he was 109 wins, 6 losses, and 6 national titles. So I was proud to be a part of those 6 national titles. But I remember those 6 losses just as much as the 6 national titles. But that 2007 national title was really special for me. And just because of the work, the fact that I hired him as a head coach, and the fact that we were able to attain success so quickly. That's the kind of thing that I hope to bring to CSU-Pueblo, is to be able to empower our coaches to be super ultra successful, and bring some pride back to some of our programs that have kind of got a little stale lately, but be able to build on what we got going. I mean, we've got some special things happening in football with head coach John Risson and his staff. We got some special things in our track and field program. We're excited about our new sport coaches we've hired in volleyball and basketball, and in soccer, and then in the future here with baseball. So a lot is going on, and we're really proud of where we're at, but we want more, and we're excited for more.
Awesome. We appreciate you taking some time this morning. I know you've got other stuff you could be doing, so it's nice of you to take some time and chat with us this morning, and we look forward to I try to get down to a football game every year, so hopefully we get to do that this fall.
Yeah, I hope so too. I love your backdrop. It's awesome, Kevin. Thanks. And Jack, it was an honor to be able to talk to you. And if you ever need anything, Kevin and Jack, don't hesitate to call. We'd be honored to talk to you. Be happy to help you grow and interact and develop as you are doing as a professional.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, have a good one.
Good, go Pack.